Welcome to the Health Science Coach Podcast. My name is Drew Garner. I am a health science and physical education teacher here at Turner High School. My objective is to provide information to students about different healthcare careers and explain how these professionals got to where they are in their careers. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Now let's dig in. Today we get the pleasure of meeting with Dustin Stember. He is a special marketing manager at DentalEZ Integrated Solutions dental sales company here in Kansas City. How are you doing today, Dustin?
Good yourself. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about what you do for your company as a dental sales rep. Okay.
Well, currently as a special markets manager, we deal solely with government and institutions. So I work on a daily basis with VAs, military bases, dental schools, hygiene schools, and so on. And the goal is, if they're not using our products currently, is to either switch them over or get them buying more of our supplies or more of our products if they are currently using this.
Okay. So what types of products do you guys get or provide for them?
Yeah. So we are a manufacturer of capital equipment, and by that, essentially whatever you see when you walk into a dental office is what we sell. So we have the cabinetry that you see in an operatory, the chairs, the operatory lights, the delivery units that you'll find all the hand pieces that do all the drilling on. We sell the hand pieces. And then, I guess, away from the view of patients, we also sell the utility room equipment, which provides the suction and the air to run everything in the office.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So on a daily basis, what are you kind of doing with those companies to provide them your services?
So it's a constant follow-up and cold calling situation to where, with me, I currently cover about 9 states as well as Ontario and Manitoba. So it's all about time management and organization and making sure that I get in front of as many people as often as I can. So on a daily basis, it's a lot of phone calls, either follow-ups, trying to schedule meetings and so on, and then a lot of emails in regards to, getting new products in front of people that may have not heard about it yet or seen it, and just constantly trying to set up appointments and meetings, demos. And that's essentially it on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So out of your states, I know that we had tried to schedule this meeting a couple weeks back. You had to go on a trip to visit with one of your clients. Mm-hmm. What on one of those types of visits, what do you do when you go out of town to meet with the patients?
Mm-hmm. Well, this particular, the one you were talking about, the trip I took was to Indiana University Dental School. They have been a customer of ours for 30, 40 years, and they've used our hand pieces and a lot of other products. And so they had been using our older style hand pieces for a number of years. When I say hand pieces, those are the drilling tools. Right. We switched them to our latest hand piece, and basically I was out there training the students, training the faculty, the staff that work with the students, whether it's in the dispensary or the dental assistants or hygienists. So it was basically 3 days of training just to make sure that they knew how to operate it, how to figure out all the settings and whatnot, because every doctor is different. So just wanted to make sure they were comfortable with that. But normally when I go on a trip, it's either I have a meeting or a demo set up with chief of staff for dental with a VA or with a dean at a school, something of that nature is what I always try to plan my time out efficiently whenever I go out of town.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty cool being able to meet with the students and the instructors and show them how to use those tools, and then as well as meeting with the people that are in the hospitals using those tools for in the field. So you went to school at Newman and you studied business. What kind of led you to wanting to study business over, medical type career?
Well, I mean, initially, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a physical therapist. I thought that would be pretty cool, having a sports background and everything. And then once I took the honors anatomy classes, and they were like, okay, now you have to know every bone and muscle in the body and all the functions. I'm like, I had to take a step back a little bit. And so from there, I met some people that had marketing and sales degrees prior to getting into college. And as I kind of learned more about sales, and especially pharmaceutical and the medical side, I figured that with my sports background and my competitive nature, that it would be a good fit.
Yeah,
and it's worked out so far.
I can imagine. So you've been in the field now for 12 years. You've done a couple different types of jobs. Let's kind of just talk about the different paths that you've been with and companies. You started out with Timeline Recruiting as a physician recruiter. What does that kind of look like, and what led you to want to work with them?
Well, I'd been in sales, business to business sales since I graduated from college, and always wanted to get in the medical field. And that recruiting position opened up, and thought it would be basically kind of my in to get into outside medical sales.
Yeah.
And was with them for about a year and a half, and it was just constant phone calls and emails trying to market opportunities to. I work primarily with orthopedic surgeons and OBGYNs, and so it was, if I did get a response or was able to reach someone, is basically selling them on an opportunity in this city, in this state, and why it would be a good fit for him or her and their families. So that was I mean, it was interesting. I learned a lot in regards to the medical field. It just wasn't a good fit for me because I like to be out and about. It's hard for me to sit at a desk 24/7. And so when the opportunity with Henry Schein popped up, I jumped at it.
Yeah. And so with them, you were an equipment and technology specialist, and that is a dental type company at Henry Schein. What did you work with them on, to be a technology specialist and equipment specialist for them?
So I have a friend that's been with Henry Schein for a number of years. Just let him know that, hey, if an opportunity ever pops up, let me know. And something did. Their equipment rep had left for a competitor, and so interviewed and became the equipment sales specialist for Henry Schein there in the Wichita area. Okay. And with that, it's all the kind of the equipment. It was on the distributor side, and so we were essentially selling equipment for other manufacturers. And so we were selling what we thought the best option was for that doctor, or what the doctor wanted, and it was one of the best price. And so we sold the operatory equipment, we sold the 3D imaging equipment, the 2D imaging equipment, intraoral sensors, basically everything equipment technology you would see within a dental office. That's what I dealt with. And then I worked with the supply reps on a daily basis, who called on these accounts daily, to work with them to make sure we got their doctor the best product for what their needs were. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So that kind of led you into working with DentalEZ, and you've had a couple different roles with them. Started as integrated solutions, territory sales manager, regional business development, and now you're special markets manager. A lot of questions that, the high school students think of, or early college age students think of, is, they may have seen their parents or family members have one job for 20 or 30 years.
Sure.
So being able to develop and move up with a company, how does that kind of look like when dealing with medical sales?
It's all about relationships and your numbers. I mean, if you're consistently hitting their numbers and where you need to be financially, the upper management will always take that into account and look to move up those that have done well. That way they can basically bring on and train those to take their place. And then hopefully the trend continues from there.
Yeah. So with being able to do that, so you've obviously been successful in the dental sales industry. Kind of talk us through the development of process from just being a integrated solutions position to a territory to a regional rep, and how that kind of looks like.
Well, the way it turned out, or the way it's worked out with our company, is a little bit different than some others that you'll see. I started out as a territory sales manager covering 2.5 states, working directly with distributor reps, basically, trying to get them and show them that, hey, our products are better than the competition's. This is why you should sell them or mention them to the doctor practices that you work with. And so did that for a year and a half and did really well. And then our the company owner, decided to make a huge change and go with a third-party sales force on the commercial side. When that happened, they kept the top 7 reps to become regional business development reps to work with those new reps, get them trained, help develop rapport with some of the larger accounts that we already had. And then once that was taken care of, then they moved us over into special markets to just focus on the government and institution side. So yeah, a little bit different than what most companies would do. Most it's, as you are in a territory and you're going really well, if a management opportunity pops up, they'll normally present it to you if it's a good fit. And a lot of times people want to stay in just the sales manager role because you can make, sometimes more money in that role than you can in the management position. It just depends on personality and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So between being the actual sales rep and the sales manager, what does that kind of difference in those two positions look like for dental sales?
Well, I mean, you have manager as in those that, have reps that report to him, but with us, when it says manager, it's basically we're managing a territory. And so they give us our territories and we manage it. And so that's kind of where the manager comes from on the dental side, at least in my experience. Yeah. But yeah, if you see someone with a regional manager or senior director of sales, they'll have multiple reps reporting to them.
Right, that makes sense. And then so did you do any sort of internships in college or anything other than, that first anatomy class that kind of led you to wanting to be in medical sales, or just the general thought of it?
No, playing baseball in college at the same time, unfortunately didn't have a whole lot of opportunities for internships or co-ops. Just didn't really know much about them at that time. It wasn't really something that was brought to our attention, unfortunately, not like it is now in universities. Once I got closer to graduating, I met with and sat down with some pharmaceutical reps just to get an idea of what they do on a regular basis and, how I can, differentiate myself from other applicants for certain positions or within the companies that they work for. And so that kind of propelled me into figuring out, okay, this is what I need to do, or this is where I need to be, or a position I need to take first before I can make that jump into the medical side. And so that helped. And so I would say, for me, it was the networking and relationship building that started the trajectory versus doing an internship. Okay,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Being able to build your network and having those people in your corner definitely helps with, finding opportunities available.
Sure.
What is something that you really love about your job?
Well, with my current position, I have a lot of veterans in the family that I served, Korean War, World War II, Vietnam, and my wife is currently an officer in the National Guard. So I really enjoy working with the VAs and providing, basically some of the best products out there to help them take care of the veterans. So that's what I really enjoy. And then on the school side, I enjoy, showing students, how things work, what the benefits are, and ideally, hopefully, once they graduate, they want to continue using our products in their practice and providing, great products for their patients.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to get those products into their hands while they're in college and getting them familiar with your stuff really probably helps them being familiar with it when they graduate. What are maybe some misconceptions that people have about sales managers or dental sales in general?
I think a lot of people are, I guess, kind of surprised when I tell them I'm in dental sales. They never think of, dental sales in regards to a sales opportunity or a career. I think they hear pharmaceutical sales, they hear medical device sales a lot, but I mean, even myself, before I got into it, I never thought about the products that dentists use when I was in there. And hey, how did they get them? Obviously, someone's got to get them for them. And
Yeah.
so I do still get a lot of surprise faces when I say I'm in dental sales. They're like, "Oh, what does that mean? What do you do?" And so I just think it's not necessarily there's not necessarily a misconception, but I think they're just people just don't know about it or think about it or consider it.
Yeah, not just selling toothpaste and toothbrushes.
Yeah, they do have reps for that, but it's not something I'd want to do.
That's pretty funny. Professionally, what's something that you're most proud of so far?
Well, the last 2 years, I've been the top rep on the special market side for DentalEZ, and so it's and also been able to build a lot more relationships on with my customers, and so those two things are what I'm most proud of in the most recent past.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like you said, that building relationships seems to be a common theme with a lot of the industry reps. What is so important with that building relationships that you found that has helped you gain and retain clients?
It comes down to trust at the end of the day. Do what you tell them that you're going to do and always follow through and provide the service after the sale. I mean, if you're able to do those things, then you're going to have a lot of success. But initially, you have to build the trust because, at the end of the day, people buy from who they trust and who they like. And so if they don't feel comfortable with me, they're not going to buy from me.
Yeah.
Because they're buying from me more than they are the company.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. Being able to provide that service to them after you sell them, and you're not just giving them the equipment and saying, here you go, but providing the knowledge and teaching of the products as well. Is there anything you regret not doing professionally?
I mean, I can't. I mean, everything that I've done has gotten me to where I'm at now, and so I mean, maybe a few tweaks here and there, but regrets? No, I don't, because it's made me a better rep. It's made me a better person, and hopefully, a better father and husband because of maybe some of the missteps I've taken or some of the hardships I've gone through. And so, no, I wouldn't change anything.
Awesome. What do they have you do as sales wise? A new product comes out, or maybe some advancements in technology change a little bit. What do they have you guys as far as professional development? Maybe a national sales meeting or something like that?
Yeah, on an annual basis, we always like to get together, go over either current products, new sales techniques, or new products, especially, get trained on those new products. That way we can introduce them to our customers and, hopefully future customers. And so that's what we try to do. Of course, last year, everything got thrown off. And so we haven't been able to do that, but the goal is to do that on a regular basis. And then on a personal level, I try to stay up to date as much as I can on new technologies. That way I have, some other talking points with dentists other than just what I have. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are some industry trends that you're seeing with the dental equipment?
A lot more stuff is going toward the technology side, the digital side. So not very often will you see a practice that doesn't have at least digital X-rays and pano machines, which take the full 2D scan of the face. But a lot of dentists are getting more into the 3D technology because more general practitioners are wanting to do endo or endodontics, or they're wanting to get into implant placement. That way they can, diversify their practice, make some more money, obviously, and kind of makes it more exciting for them after maybe doing the same thing for a number of years. And so for the last 5 years, it's gone that way to where a lot more people are getting into the technology so it can advance their practice and what they do on a daily basis.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then career goals, you'd mentioned being able to move up with companies and how that works. What are some personal career goals that you have set for yourself, maybe the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Well, the next step is at some point we do plan on going back to our own internal sales force versus using the third party. When that happens, I will become a regional manager and and then from there I'll hire and train the reps to go out there and either work with the distributors or work with the special market side to basically kind of ramp up and hopefully get sales going even better.
Good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's something that you wish you would have known in high school or maybe early on in college that would help you with your career now?
I think it kind of goes back to the relationship building and networking. You know, when you're in high school or college, you kind of have your group of friends or those that you hang out with, and you really don't venture too far outside. I think I probably would have used some of my mom's connections, and she was a family practice nurse. Try to develop those relationships a little bit earlier on with some of those pharmaceutical reps or some of those people she knew within the industry, and take advantage of that, as well as talk to the doctors that she worked with a little bit more often. I think if I would have utilized some of those relationships and started networking a little earlier, I think it's hard to say what kind of trajectory or path my career may have not taken. So,
yeah, that's pretty interesting. Just being able to use your surroundings and people to kind of dip your feet in, like what we have going on with our school with these health science pathways that we have, and that's what I teach in. That we're kind of trying to get that started a little early, kind of like a undergraduate career study path, career advancement. What do you think that advice that you would give to a high school kid that may be wanting to get into medical sales? What are some things that they could look forward to doing while they're in high school?
I think if you are competitive, if you hate losing more than you like winning, and you don't mind rejection, sales is something maybe to consider. But if you don't like rejection, if you don't like hearing the word no, I would recommend staying away from sales. I mean, you have to have thick skin to be in sales, especially depending on the industry you're in. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're competitive and you don't like to lose and you like a challenge, sales is definitely a possibility.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about not wanting to lose and not being very competitive. You started a fundraiser for American Cancer Society for a car show in Wichita. Let's talk a little bit about what you've been able to do fundraising wise for the Cancer Society.
I mean, it's nothing huge by any means. I lost my dad to cancer in 2012, and he was a very big hot rod car guy. We grew up around cars and going to car shows and drive-ins and everything like that growing up. And so we just figured as an homage to him, and to, I guess, kind of make sure his name is, lives on. We decided to do a car show in his name, and then all the proceeds from that, will go to the American Cancer Society. So, I mean, like I said, it's nothing huge. Usually anywhere from, we'll make, $500 to $1,000 to donate. Nothing big, but it's just a good time to get together, talk about, maybe people that that have had cancer or that have survived or unfortunately maybe even lost, and it's just kind of a come together situation, not just a car show.
Right, kind of that networking of friends and families with the cars being the focal point, but being able to have that commonality of the cancer, and it affects a lot of people. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to be able to have set up, just to one, like you said, pay homage to your dad, and continue to have that around. Let's see, a couple more questions for you. Okay. What is a book that you might recommend to a high school or college age student that might be interested in sales, or maybe something about how to overcome people telling you no?
A couple books. I think business in general, not just sales, but business in general. A good book is how to win friends and influence people. It's a good one that's helped me over the years. And then for sales, the Challenger Sale just kind of talks about sales and how to come at it at different different directions. So I think those 2 books are pretty valuable if you're wanting to go to sales or just business in general.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you kind of already hit on, if you dislike blank, then being in sales is not for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you dislike being told no. The other part of that question is, if you like blank, then this is the right career path for you.
Well, I think if you are interested in either dental or medical, if you have kind of an interest in those fields, obviously that's important. But to get in the sales aspect of it, you know, kind of comes back to, do you like competition? Do you like a challenge? And do you strive to be the best on a regular basis? If you can do all that, and if that's part of you, then yeah, you can be successful in sales for sure.
Yeah. And then the last one I kind of have is, do you have a mantra or quote that you like to live with?
I have 2 of them. I had a high school basketball coach and teacher that before a game he said, "Never measure yourself to mediocrity." And for whatever reason, that has stuck in my head ever since. And then a big thing that my dad always preached to my brother and I was, doesn't matter what you do, just be the best at it. And so that's those are the 2 things that I've always lived by, and hopefully hopefully I can get better on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Yeah, being able to kind of look at, bettering yourself day by day is something that a lot of people talk about as well. Well, thank you so much spending 25 minutes with us talking about medical sales and your company. Is there anything else you want to talk about, maybe your company, that people might be interested in hearing about?
Unfortunately, we don't have anything big on the horizon right now. We have a couple of products that should be pretty exciting within the school realm, but I mean, I think your students would probably think it's pretty boring at this point. So, but they're always welcome to go to DentalEZ.com if they're interested in kind of seeing what dental products are all about.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I think that would be something cool for kids that may be interested in being dentists as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Look what those products are now and saying, oh, I may want to learn how to use this, or what this toy or tool does, versus another one. So that's pretty cool. Well, thanks again so much. We really appreciate learning all about DentalEZ, and look forward to you having a great year in sales.
All right. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.